Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to your 20 minutes of feel-good yoga class, a total body flow. So let's begin seated on our mats in whatever seated position is comfortable for you. Let's take a big inhale, raise our arms up above our head, and exhale our hands to the front of our hearts. While our hands float here in Anjali Mudra, in front of our heart, send yourself some gratitude and love for showing up today on your mat wherever you are, at whatever time it is. Just be thankful that we have these bodies that we're able to move in and flow. Go ahead and place your hands behind your back, fingertips facing forward, and gently lift your chest towards the sky, opening up our frontal body. Throw your head back. Make it feel good on your body, beaming your heart towards the sky. On your exhale, just go ahead and release your body back down to neutral, and we're going to make our way into all fours position on our mats. From here, sink your hips back into a child's pose, our resting pose. On your inhale, wave your spine forward and come into an upward facing dog. And on your exhale, release back into child's pose. Let's do this a few times. Inhale, come forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, go back into child's pose. Linking our movement with our breath and exaggerating the movement through our spine to open up the spinal cord and allow it to have some movement today. Make sure you're moving at your own pace, moving through each vertebra of your spine as you draw forward. Release the head up, look up towards the sky, and then really sink those hips back towards the heels into your child's pose. Once more, upward facing dog. Really open up the chest in this slight back bend. And instead of pressing back into our child's pose, we're going to press into our first downward facing dog of the day. From here, we're going to place our weight onto our right hand and reach across our body with our left hand towards the right ankle into this gentle twist. Again, we are just warming up the body here, so be gentle. Go ahead and release this side, and let's switch to the other side. Grabbing onto the left ankle with your right hand. Looking over that left armpit. Really allowing this stretch to feel good in the spine. And then go ahead and release the ankle with the right hand. Place it back into downward facing dog. And flow forward on your inhale into a plank. Chaturanga Dandasana, exhale your way down towards the ground and inhale up into our upward facing dog and push back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels and hop towards the front of the mat or take 2 steps forward. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Inhale, bring your arms straight out in front of you. And then clasp your fingertips behind your head. Gently decompress the neck by going into a forward fold, Uttanasana. And just sway from side to side, releasing tension in your neck and giving this incredible decompression feeling. As our neck works so hard throughout the day, holding up our head, it's good to allow it to release. On the inhale, draw yourself all the way up into standing. Take a breath in mountain pose, and then inhale your arms up towards the sky. Gently back bend, cactus the arms, and then dive yourself down on the exhale into our forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift and take 2 steps back into plank. Take 1 quick push-up in plank and then Chaturanga Dandasana, upward facing dog. Open the chest and flow backwards into our downward facing dog. From here, lift the heels, look forward, and take another leap forward to the front of the mat, or 2 steps. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, and exhale your hands towards your heart. Amazing job, everyone. Inhale your arms once more up, slight back bend, and then exhale your hands down towards the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, step the left foot to the back of the mat. And once you've found your balance, root into both feet and inhale your arms up above your heads. Next, we're going to take eagle arms in front of our body. So wrap the right arm underneath the left, and inhale, draw your body down. Exhale, float it back up. Pair your breath with the movement here. Make it feel fluid and feel good on the spine and the shoulders. We're going to do a little balancing trick here and inhale that left leg up towards standing, and then try to come into eagle legs at the front of your mat. So you're going to wrap the left knee around the right and try to wrap the left ankle behind the right ankle. Maintaining eagle arms and eagle legs at the same time and sinking your hips as far down as they can go. A lot of pressure on the glutes, and make sure you're engaging your core here as well. Go ahead and release the arms, lift the left knee up, and gently step it back 3/4 of the way as we come into pyramid pose. So inhale your arms straight up and then hinge at the hips forward halfway. Release the hands and bring them on your sacrum, your back, grabbing onto either elbow. You can stay here halfway up, whatever feels good for you. We're really getting into that hamstring. Or just gently guide your chest to fold over the thigh. Really getting into that area of the body here. Make sure you are pushing your right hip forward and your left hip back to maintain alignment and keeping your hips square. So let's hold this pyramid pose and breathe. Opening up the shoulders. Remember, you can use blocks on either side of your leg here as well, instead of holding onto your elbows, or have your hands reaching towards the ground, whatever feels good for you as we hold this pose. From here, let's release our hands towards the ground if they're not already there, and plant the left hand outside of the right foot. Once that hand is planted outside the right foot, release your right arm up towards the sky into reverse triangle. Your gaze can remain down here or looking up, getting a nice twist in the spine and awakening our digestive system. This pose can be really challenging on our balance as well, so we are working so many muscles simultaneously here. Go ahead and release the right arm back down to meet the left. Frame out the foot. Take a bend in the left knee and spring yourself forward into our forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, draw everything up, come to standing, and inhale your arms up towards the sky, and then swan dive forward into our forward fold. We're just gonna flow it out here before we do the other side. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into plank. Take a quick little push up, and then Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, and spring forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, we're gonna step all the way back with our right foot, coming into high crescent lunge on the other side. Inhale your arms up towards the sky. And then let's take eagle arms on the other side by wrapping your left arm underneath your right. And let's get into our flow. Really staying rooted in those feet, engaging the glutes and the core. This is very challenging on our balance. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, come up, slight back bend. And then place all the weight on your left leg and draw that right knee towards your chest, wrapping the right leg over top of the left and trying to get that right ankle behind the left ankle, coming into eagle arms with eagle legs, sinking deep into those hips, really working the glutes, our balance, our core is engaged, and we are opening those shoulders. This should feel good on the entire body. Go ahead and release the eagle legs, lift your right knee up towards your chest, and then step it back 3/4 of the way. Straighten the left knee, inhale, come up. Exhale, hinge forward halfway, releasing the arms and hands towards your mat. Go ahead and lift the arms back up and allow them to come behind your back, grabbing onto opposite elbows, releasing the chest over the thigh, coming into our pyramid posture. Remember, you do not need to hold on to the elbows here if it is uncomfortable for you. Just release your hands towards the mat, holding on to blocks, or allowing your fingertips to float above the floor. Wherever you are, just make sure your spine is as straight as possible. Your right hip is coming forward while your left hip is pushing back. Release your arms if you were holding your elbows and place your right hand outside of your left foot, coming into reverse triangle on the other side. Another very challenging full body posture that has us working our balance. If you're looking up towards the sky, it's a much more challenging posture. So give it a try if you didn't on the other side. And of course, if you fall out of it, just come right back in. Let's go ahead and release the left arm back down to meet the right. Put a slight bend in the left leg and draw the right leg forward into our forward fold at the top of our mat. Inhale your body up towards the sky, hands open into cactus arms, and then release it down into forward fold on the exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take 2 steps back into our plank pose. Take 1 push-up, chaturanga push-up, and then release onto the ground, chaturanga dandasana. Up into upward facing dog, and then pushing back into our downward facing dog. Let's hold our downward dog and take a few breaths here. On the next inhale, come up onto your tippy toes, bend the knees, and just drop down onto your knees, coming onto our mat. From here, let's meet in hero's pose. Grab onto our ankles with our hands and do some seated cat-cows. So on the inhale, open the chest, and the exhale, round out the spine. Inhale, open towards the sky, and exhale, draw it all in, separate the shoulder blades. Let's do this one more time. Inhale and exhale, draw it all in. From here, let's come up onto our knees. We're gonna do some single camel poses. So release the left arm onto the left ankle and open the right arm up towards the sky, coming into a somewhat twisted camel, one-armed camel pose. Let's go ahead and switch sides here, releasing the right hand towards the right ankle, opening up the left arm. And of course, if camel pose is not in your practice, just give yourself a slight back bend by holding your hands on your lower back, opening the chest up towards the sky. Or you could always practice your upward facing dog here as the rest of us come into a full expression of camel pose, releasing tension in the neck, shoulders, and chest. To come out, place both hands on your lower back and allow your head to come up last. Amazing job. It should feel really good when we open our hearts up and release all the tension held in that muscular area of our body. To counterpose that intense opener, we're going to fall into child's pose. From here, just take some cleansing breaths, coming back to the breath, back to our bodies, and back to the intention we set at the beginning of class. Allow your body to finally feel restful after all of that hard work that we put in today, all of the intense movements and postures that might have been new for you or that you're currently working on that challenge yourself both physically and mentally. So many amazing benefits were unlocked today in today's practice, and you should feel so proud of yourself for completing this entire flow. Let's stay here for a few more breaths. And then gently walk your hands back towards your face. Come all the way up into all fours position and just release yourself down into an upward facing dog. And then push your hips back into a downward facing dog, our last downward dog of the day. Gently walk your feet towards the front of your mat to meet your hands. Bend your knees and let's come back down onto our mats. Come into a seated position and let's take a final breath together. With your palms facing up towards the sky, resting on your knees, remind yourself that with courage and gratitude, you can accomplish anything. Inhale your arms up towards the sky, have them meet in prayer. As you exhale, bring them down towards your heart and bow towards your own heart. Thank you for joining me today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.